Will you remark further on the amendment or the bill as amended? Representative Rowe.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Speaker.
Good evening, sir.
Just maybe a question or two to the proponent, please.
Please proceed.
Do we have an idea as to how many students will avail themselves of this conscientious objector status, if we can call it that, through you, or who might object to dissecting frogs?
Representative Hornish.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, no.
Representative Rowe.
And I assume, was this the subject of a public hearing through the appropriate committee, through you?
Representative Hornish.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, yes, it was.
Representative Rowe.
And was there a sense from the public hearing that there were a lot of folks, be it biology teachers or students themselves, that were looking to avail themselves of this this idea of opting out?
Representative Hornish.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, yes, there were several students in the written public testimony who did experience challenges when they objected to dissection. Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Rowe.
Okay. I thank the gentlelady for her responses. I would comment that, you know, we do a lot of things in this General Assembly, and quite often we require that parents play a role in decisions that their children make, rightly so. Well, maybe not always rightly so, but we do it. And we do it, students need parental permission if they're going to tattoo their bodies. I should say minors need permission. Minors need permission if they're going to be given medication at school, even an aspirin. They need parental permission. Now, if a minor, if a student wants to refrain from dissecting a frog in biology class, presumably, they'll be able to abstain from doing so if they have parental involvement. And I think you'll hear arguments on either side of this. I would associate myself with Representative Hovey's remarks on that issue. But it would seem to me, and we I think are doing this bill for reasons that a few, as Representative Hornish said, a few students came forward and would like to avail themselves of this. But while we require parental involvement now in frog dissection and body piercing and medications being given, like an aspirin at school, we don't require any sort of parental involvement at all for a type of surgery, and that surgery would be an abortion. And minors in Connecticut are obtaining abortions at the rate of roughly 1,000 a year, a little more than that actually. So a situation where you've got, let's undersell, let's say 1,000 young girls a year going through an abortion, which everyone on the issue, I think, would agree is a very profound and significant event. Those of us that recognize it's the taking of a life, of an innocent life, would say, goodness, how on earth can we let a minor go through this without getting parental involvement? Particularly, you know, when that same minor perhaps wanted to get out of dissecting a frog, they had to get their parents involved in that. And then the week before, when they had a headache, they wanted to go to the nurse and get an aspirin, but they couldn't get an aspirin because they didn't get parental involvement. And then a month later, they wanted to get their body pierced. They couldn't do that until they got their parents involved. So I just wish that we could have an open and honest, non-5-minute public debate one day before session ends on this issue. And for some reason, we refuse to have that. So I'm disappointed. I have an awfully good amendment that would help us at least start the debate, however you felt on this. So I think we win an honest debate on this. Unfortunately, we never really get to have it. We tend to have me stand up here and say some things, and then we don't talk about the issue for a year, and I stand up and say them again, and then we don't talk about it for a year, and you see where I'm going with this. I'll stop talking now, but I would very much appreciate if, going forward, someone who has more juice than me can give me a public hearing on this issue. It's very important that we protect minors when they're going to make such an extraordinary decision that's going to affect them the rest of their lives. So I appreciate the time and the dialogue such as it is, and on the underlying bill I won't be supporting it, but I am nonetheless appreciative that I was able to bring out this amendment, or at least talk about it. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Will you remark further on the